heading back the next morning. Got batteries this time and a fresh supply of food for the animals. Gonna head down into the creek. So November 13th, back the very next day. Hasn't even been a full day. Okay. Well, there's some persimmons missing. So there were 6 persimmons. Oh, I can even see signs of the eating. And there were, what, 25 apples? The apples up here are gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So half, roughly, of the apples are gone. Yeah, I'd say the animals returned immediately. And I brought some extra supplies to replenish this. Okay, replenished. And I've got batteries in the camera now. Hopefully the camera will work. You know, the tree that I've been fortunate enough to use for the food supplies recently is running bare, running out. And it makes me think about the seasons more than I might otherwise have, because you have a limited amount of time in the wild to gather up food before winter hits. Maybe there'll be some other source of food, but this is a clear indicator that some sources run out. You have a very finite amount of time to get prepared. And the human who owns the land that the trees are on wants to gather up the fruit off of the trees before they're even ripe and just box them up and store them, or in some cases they'll get sent to friends, but you know, God, how much of that is gonna go to waste? And all of it is going to people who aren't hungry or in need, which is, you know, you can do whatever you want with what you own, quote unquote own, according to humans owning the earth. But it's just perspective on how we eat versus how other things try to survive. I'm very thankful for what the tree has provided, and that I've been able to take what I have so far from it in order to give it to these animals. So let's do the toy-on experiment again. Hopefully the camera won't malfunction on me before we see who enjoys it. And if it rains, let's make sure we have an escape stick in the water. The sticks always make the birds feel more comfortable too. They like to perch on them when they're eating, it seems like. Let's make that toy-on a little more visible for the camera. You know, I mean, we own everything that we steal. It wasn't ours. We came in and claimed it and took it from everything that was using it. That's when I start to think of us as aliens more than earthlings. You know, unlike all the other creatures here, where you can have multiple species sharing one space and benefiting from that space, we like to be separate, apart. And we come in and claim it, and then nothing else is allowed there. And then we take a step further and we destroy all the great things that were there that we moved into and replace it with our own system, our own vegetation, our own form of housing, our own form of food supply. Whatever, justify it any way that you want to, but we're at odds compared to how everything else manages to establish homeostasis. We are at odds with our host mother, and it's by choice. It doesn't have to be that way. You know, we have evidence from indigenous people that they, at least compared to modern humans, had a much better concept of how to live with Earth and share Earth, rather than just saying, ooh, I got here first, I'm taking everything. And of course, we didn't get there first. There were indigenous people there, but they didn't count because they weren't the race of human that quote unquote mattered. And even before that, well, there's the non-humans, and they were there first. But obviously we don't think they matter. The real tragedy of that, this dismissiveness, this desire to be superior and say that other animals don't matter and that we got to clear them out to make room for more of ourselves, is that we're diluting life. I mean, these creatures are what make it so special to be here. They're wonderful. And as I come up on this camera that has caught the mountain lion a couple of times, I think how sad it is that I can't share that information, or at least not this location, because people will freak out. They won't be happy that such a rare and wonderful creature is here, defying all odds to survive. They'll say some shit like, "Oh, my dog will be in danger," or "I don't like that. You know, it's a risk. They shouldn't be here." Blah, 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 blah. Or in addition to that, you've got the hunters that are like, "Oh, well, there's a rare opportunity to kill something that there's hardly anything left because we've killed them all. I'm going to go get that one." How fucked up is that? Well, at a glance, this looks pretty untouched, but let's add some more supplies and see what happens.